there was questions about fear of sitting in those seats or anxiety about sitting in those seats, and I know you didn't raise your hand, but your body language was telling me that you were not thrilled about this. So is that true?
Yeah.
Can you tell me what everybody's interested in is, and I understand there's anxiety probably for everyone. Is it something that you can...
Oh, well, just the other day, I was driving down 60 and they're already boarding things up, which freaked me out. Like, come on, you know. So, yeah, I'm worried about the safety. And I even didn't even drive my car here today. I took a Lyft because I don't want anybody seeing my car. So I'm just kind of freaked out about that, yes.
Okay. Would it impact your ability to render the verdict that you thought was correct?
Oh, no, it wouldn't impact. No, it wouldn't impact that.
Okay. Anyone else that have concerns about being on the panel in terms of safety or, I'm sorry, 34.
34. So I really want to serve on a jury. I really do not want to serve on this jury. I only want to serve on a jury where the people involved directly have an opinion. I figure either way this goes, you're going to have half the country upset with you, and they react poorly. I also drove somebody else's car here, and while it wouldn't, you know, it is my duty, and you're a guilt tripper up there on the bench, and so I'm a big Hamilton fan, and you keep mentioning the Founding Fathers, but it's scary because you don't know how people are going to react, and I watch too much TV, and so of course you worry. I want to know who's going to have the list of jurors. I'm grateful that you mentioned that we're not photographed. Not only would I not have control over my good side, but I don't want it to be known. I don't want people to know that I'm on a jury, or, I mean, if I'm on a jury, I wouldn't want them to know, and I wouldn't want them to have my list of my name or my address. I don't want people standing outside of my house. You know, it's scary when you think all of a sudden, and it's on the news all over the country. It's not just Kenosha County. So, I mean, it is scary, and I would be very interested to hear how the jury is protected, because...
Sure. And those are legitimate questions, and they recur in cases without, you know, commenting on the enormity of this case or its particular facts, the aura of fear that would surround it. If you were here over the years that I've been here, you would have a better idea about the degree of risk that's involved for jurors. I can tell you, one of the things I'll tell whoever selected on this case, whatever their verdicts are, I will talk about you're never obliged to talk with anybody about the case, but you're welcome to talk about it as little or as much as you want. I tell them that if anyone bothers them, that they should let me know and we'll put a stop to it. And you know what? In 50 years of trying cases, and I tried cases as a lawyer, and now in 38 years as a judge, I've never had a juror threatened. I've never had a juror bothered in any way. I have not been bothered, and I don't have any special arrangements either. I am involved differently, obviously, in the jury, but as you'll find later, if there's a verdict of guilt returned in a criminal trial, then I'm in the sentencing business, and I think that the fear that people have is greater than the reality of risk. I'm not going to say it could never happen. By the way, when was the last time you read about a juror being harmed?
Well, I watched a movie the other day.
Very good.
I'm a Netflix girl.
Okay, all right, I got you. But yeah, you don't hear about it. You know, once in a decade, once in maybe 15 years, you'll hear about a judge getting assassinated, or not. Yeah, that assassinated, because there are some that happen in the family court's very volatile. The divorce court is very volatile. So you'll hear about those instances once in a decade. In terms of a judge actually being targeted, I would say that's once every 20 years you read about something like that. And these are people who are dealing with this on an everyday basis. So the risk, I can't emphasize enough. And the same thing with prosecutors. So I you know, if I could tell you, well, there's no risk at all, but I wouldn't be being honest with you. I am telling you that I've never seen it. I've even anything even close to it. And as far as these people who are spouting off all over the country, but when you have a case that gets this much publicity, we get people. I'm going to leave it at that. I can't strongly enough tell you that I think that the risk of which you're concerned, I don't want to minimize it, but on the other hand, I don't want it to assume proportions that it doesn't deserve. Okay?
Well, I appreciate your comforting words.
Even if I'm, what did you call me?
Comforting words.
No. Before that, what did you say? Guilt tripping.
Oh, I did call you a really good guilt trip.
That's going to last. All right, go ahead, Mr. Sharefsky.
My only question is, with that understandable pressure that you feel or anxiety that you feel, I think everybody's concern is that that pressure then makes you decide something that you don't actually believe in because you feel pressure to.
I don't think there's a right answer. I don't think, some cases I think they probably, if you decided guilty, it would get, it would be better. Or if you decided innocent, it would be better. I feel like it's as divided as politics and as racial tensions are. I think that there are no winners. I think.
But ma'am, who else is going to decide?
No, I agree. And honestly, we could all say whatever to get out of the chair. I mean, if we weren't here to be honest and to try to come up with an honest verdict based on evidence, I don't think people would still be sitting here. I mean, because you could say some really off-the-wall things, and I've had lots of suggestions from people about what to say or what to wear to get off the jury, but I don't believe that's true, and I also don't believe in perjuring yourself to get out of the civic duty. I'm just saying, I feel like whatever the verdict is, there's going to be half the country that's going to be up in arms about it. And we've seen what that did to the city of Kenosha. Last year, I don't live in the city, so I wasn't personally affected, but so many people, even leaving here today have been, and it's just scary. And I don't want people to have my name, and I don't want to be seen on TV, and I don't want people to come after in their haze of praise.
Maybe the country will calm down
Well,
after they see a verdict at a fair trial.
that would be amazing if that happened. I love your optimism as well.
Thank you, ma'am.